Today we have Patrina Pellett speaking with us. Patrina, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk about this topic. It's something that I probably spend way too much time thinking about, so much time that it could be considered unhealthy. Some quick background about myself. I got into medical affairs about 8 years ago, building insights processes. Then I did medical affairs strategy consulting, and then I did KOL data. I got laid off from that last job, and that actually turned out to be one of the best things ever.
Oh,
I
wow.
took a year and I went and hiked the Pacific Crest Trail. I went to India, I went to Europe. And then when I re-entered civilization, I had to decide what to do, right? I'm not independently
Hmm.
wealthy to figure out what I was going to do for work. I'm a content creator at heart. If you don't follow me on LinkedIn, you should. I post daily. And I decided to create an MSL Insights course for MSLs. I
Hmm.
partnered with a retired pharma exec, and we built a really cool end-to-end course, everything MSLs need to know. That was really interesting. That really took off. That led me to my most current venture, which is a co-CEO at MSL Mastery. I'm partnered with Sarah Snyder. One of the top training programs that we get requests for is what we call KOL Access or
Hmm.
HCP Access.
What a journey you've been on, and sounds like you're in a very exciting place. You speak to a lot of MSLs and Med Affairs execs, and would love to get your thoughts on what are the challenges folks are facing.
Well, this is not going to be anything new probably for the folks listening, but it's getting access. Getting them to agree to meetings, to meet
Hmm.
with them. At the end of the day, it's ultimately about educating and impacting behavior change when HCPs are making clinical decisions.
Mm.
And none of that can happen if you can't get the meeting in the first place.
Access is the name of the game. Once you have that access, MSLs and Med Affairs are able to provide the message and get through to HCPs, but it's really that initial interaction that's the trickiest thing.
Well, we've uncovered some additional challenges. In January of 2025, we launched our KOL access program, and that went really well. One of the things that we're really known for at MSL Mastery is making it super practical. So we'll
Mm.
do things like come with your KOL in mind, and by the end of the training session, you're going to have everything you need to reach out to that KOL. About 5 or 6 months later, the MSL managers were calling us back and they said, Patrina, access works. We can see the bump in the metrics. We can see that they're getting more first meetings, but now they're not getting second meetings.
Mm.
So led us to build out more of our access program to what we call meeting mastery. Or I think where you're getting at, it's
Yeah.
more than just you can get the meeting, but you also have to be able to run the meeting effectively.
Mm. What are some novel and interesting solutions that you're helping to implement as far as that multi-step engagement process goes?
The biggest thing that I could think of that was the most impactful is not innovative at all.
Mm.
It's really back to the basics, basics of things like email writing. When we first launched KOL Access, my partner was like, Patrina, we have to do email. And I was like,
Mm.
no, we are not going to a pharma company and teaching them how to write an email. This is going to be so boring. She talked me into it, and luckily I listened. It is one of our highest impact programs. We measure the impact of our training, pre and post training.
Mm.
This is the training that moves the needle the most. This training is the basics. It's things like subject lines. What do you put in the body? How do you close this email? How do you get a next step? It is amazing when we come back in the follow-up trainings, the MSLs and the MSL managers are like, the email lab has changed everything. They're getting more responses. They're not
Mm.
spending as much time on email. It's like our best training program.
What do you think? Everyone knows intuitively how to craft and write an email, but what is it about reaching out to HCPs specifically that leads one to change how they write an email?
Well, I would actually challenge that. That seems like it's
Mm.
kind of a lost art. I would almost back this up a level and say that it's really about human communication. You
Mm.
have to be able to get their attention in this sea of emails in their inbox. KOLs are getting mountains and mountains of emails. So you have to make sure your email is sticking out in that
Mm.
sea of other emails. They'll be like, man, I tried this subject line, opened. Did this subject line, got a response from a KOL that I haven't been able to ever get a response from.
Okay, so you write the email in the right way and you land the meeting. Can you tell us what's the most impactful way of then having that meeting so that the relationship is built and the science is shared?
This is the hardest part and where we really spend a lot of time training MSLs. It's all about overlaying the KOL's goals with the company goals and imagining it like a Venn diagram, being able to find that center part so that you know how to add value to the
Mm,
KOL. Spending upfront time in pre-meeting planning and really thinking deeply about what that KOL cares about gets you really far. I'll say we're really lucky because we have AI, right? One of the best use cases, in my opinion, for AI is for ideas generation. It's never going to be able to tell you that this particular KOL cares about X, Y, and Z, but what
mm,
it can is give you a lot of different ideas. And
okay.
that's where we are stuck, right? We often tell MSLs, go add value, right? The trick is to add value. But what does that mean? It's not very practical or actionable.
Mm.
And with AI and the ability to generate all these ideas, it's so helpful. It saves so much time and brain power.
We've covered how to get to the meeting. We've covered how to be more impactful in the meeting. Any last thoughts for our listeners? What's one piece of advice you'd have, especially for leaders in med affairs who are struggling with HCP engagement on their team?
I've been thinking about this. I definitely think having some kind of training on emails can be very helpful. Even though emails are definitely not the most effective way to get access to a KOL, it is the number one choice for your MSLs. Since they are going to be doing these emails no matter what, you might as well get them some training on it to help improve their open rates, right? If your MSLs have 100 panel size, and they send out 10 emails and only get one response. If you can give them a training and they send out 10 emails and they can get 4 or 5 response, that's going to move the needle.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been super insightful, and I'm sure the audience will find it to be the same. Any last words of wisdom or parting thoughts?
Thanks again for having me. And if you have an email tip that you think works really well, please reach out. I would love to know what's working for you.
Super. Thank you so much.